And I'm just going to review pretty much everything except for the campaign because I haven't played it enough. But overall, the multiplayer is good, not great, nor terrible. The reason I have this opinion is a lot of the maps cater to campers, and you are forced to play more tactical. Now, this can improve the experience. Yes, it's better than 3-lane maps, but it would be great if the maps didn't have the amount of camping spots they do. Such as the map, Garanza Raid has a giant amount of camping spots. So if you don't have the perk Recon or you don't play really carefully, you'll die a lot. And I want to make this clear. It's obviously okay to sit in one spot with a sniper/marksman's rifle, depending on which marksman rifle, because that's the point of those guns. But once you do adapt to the map, it becomes easy to get a high KD. The level requirement for the weapons is nice, in my opinion. You unlock all the weapons pretty early, but it does come with a cost. Leveling weapons is a grind. To level up a gun to get the desired attachments, it is annoying. I've been leveling the Ram 7, and the attachment I need is the monolithic suppressor, which is unlocked at level weapon 53. But to be honest, I do prefer this instead of having to level up a high rank. Also, one of the most annoying things for me is the skill-based matchmaking. In every previous COD, you got into matches based on which match will have the least ping for you, but now you might be put in a higher ping match instead of a lower ping matches, and I don't see why Infinity Ward can't add a ranked playlist. But for the good things about multiplayer is they remove the pick 10 system, so now you can have all 3 perks, a secondary, and obviously a primary with 5 attachments, same as secondary. And none of those things will collide with each other. The kill streaks are good. They added a change to some missile-like kill streaks. For example, with the cluster strike or precision strike, when activated, you pull out a laser pointer type thing. You aim at the spot and you fire there, and then eventually the strike will come and only hit that spot or around it. Then of course there's the cruise missile where you take control of it, but it is harder when people have ghost because you don't get their entire location. And then, now the balancing of weapons. In my opinion, most weapons are balanced. I've used multiple guns from every class, and only a handful of weapons felt underpowered or overpowered. So overall, the multiplayer, I'd give it a 7.8 out of 10. Now for Warzone. Warzone is the only battle royale I enjoy, because first off, when you drop out of the plane, you can use your parachute, cut it, and start free falling. It never forces you to use your parachute, but if you don't, you'll become a red splat on the ground, which I don't think anybody wants that. Now for when you land, you start with a pistol, and the weapons you find on the ground are always a viable option. So instead of finding a bullet or a grenade, you always find a good weapon. And they added a money system so you can find cash on the ground. Now you can buy, things you can buy with the cash is armor plates, UAVs, and the best in my opinion is the loadout drop marker you call in. Now there are more, but those I'm not going to talk about. The loadout drop marker you pin, it pretty much calls in a drop and it's the loadout you made. They also have the use of vehicles, but a more interesting thing is gas masks. They give you immunity to the gas for a short amount of time before it breaks. Also, to get cash, you can find bounties on the ground where you have to kill a player in a certain amount of time. Then there's Scavenger, where you loot 3 different golden boxes with loot. Also rewarding with cash, and in my opinion, it's the best mission. And then there's Recon, where you hold a point for a short amount of time. And then if you die, you go to the Gulag, where you face off with another player. And with a random loadout. If you win, you go back to the game without any items except for your pistol. But if you die, you either return back to the lobby, or if you have squad mates, they can buy you back for $4,500. And also, you are still brought back with absolutely nothing except for the pistol. For the bad about Warzone is the lack of variety in the map. Yes, there's different locations, but they feel bland. And in the location downtown, there's tall buildings, but there's barely any loot because all the doors are boarded except the entrance. So if you are playing solos or with a random, the map does get boring. Personally, I don't like battle royales, but I can stand Warzone. So if I did enjoy battle royales, I'd give this a 8.6 out of 10. Now for Spec Ops. I have barely played Spec Ops, but from my experience, I think it's extremely mediocre crossing into bad. The mission in normal Spec Ops are impossible. For example, the first mission is located beside Stadium in the Warzone map, and it's a nightmare. Enemies don't stop spawning, the game keeps throwing juggernauts at you, you can easily run out of ammo, barely denting the juggernauts when you waste an entire, like, 10 clips. I spent 1 hour and a half trying to complete them. My game crashed. Now I'm not going to put my game crashing towards the rating of Spec Ops. Then the missions after the first two are not that bad, and I actually enjoyed. But if I had to describe the locations for Spec Ops, it's like when you're playing a game and you see a location you're only supposed to see, but not go, but you clip out of bounds and go there. That's what I describe the playing Spec Ops maps. Now for Classic, it's almost the same from my experience, except when I played there was improvements on the map. Overall, I would rate Spec Ops a 5.2 out of 10. And that concludes my Modern Warfare review, so I'll rate it a 7.2. Now keep in mind that review was just the multiplayer. I'll do a campaign review when I replay it a couple of times. If you genuinely enjoyed this, subscribe and like. You don't have to, and you can unsubscribe if you want. And yeah.